So we're going to talk more closely about the liver and how it processes. Your liver sits here, by the way. And do you remember when I went to the talk with Sarah Salmon that I was talking to you about? And she talked about this poor gut and the fact that stress, there's a stress hormone. Does anybody know what the stress hormone is called?
Cortisol.
Cortisol, okay. So cortisol is one of the biggest toxins for the body. Now I was 2 stone overweight, largely because I had so much cortisol in my body because I was really highly, highly stressed. So Sarah talked about the fact that actually stress is a major factor in weight gain. And that if you've got a kind of slightly dodgy liver, you know, and she put up this whole series of symptoms that were indicative of something, a liver that was probably struggling a bit. Now, as Rachel will tell you, when you go to the doctors, you can have a liver function test. And it was probably the case that my liver wasn't bad enough to show up on that kind of scale. But when she put up this list of things like I was really feeling tired, I was depressed, and I had a kind of congested feeling here, everything, I could turn this way, but I couldn't turn this way. It was all kind of congested. She put up this whole thing, and I thought, well, obviously that's me. And one of the first things I did was to cleanse my body, and now, even now, I really am very hot on keeping my liver really, really clean. Okay, so anybody heard the term alkalizing, acid and alkalizing? Yeah. So one of your other detoxification organs is your kidneys. Anybody ever have dark circles under your eyes? Yeah. So dark circles are usually an indication that your kidneys or your urinary system is struggling. You know when you go out and you have a few drinks and you go to bed late, you get up in the morning and you think you've got dark circles because you've not slept very well. It's usually because of the alcohol affecting your kidneys, and it's probably due to dehydration. You'll be looking at everybody now going, oh, she's dehydrated, look at her, black circle in her eyes. So all of your friends, you'll be telling them. Now, so we need to have enough hydration, but we also need to make sure that the body is in a good hydrated state in terms of acid versus alkaline. Now this is really interesting, ladies. Milk, for example, which you think is a very soothing alkaline drink, is actually acid forming in the body. Who knew? Lemons, which are acid tasting, aren't they, are actually alkaline forming in the body. So starting the day with some hot water and lemon is a really good thing to do. If you go away tonight and that's the only thing you do, that's fantastic. Hot water with lemon first thing in the morning. This lovely green drink that I know that some of you have tried here is an alkalizing drink, and it's part of the cleansing process. Now, a body that is in an alkaline state is a healthy body. Cancer cannot survive in an alkaline body. Yeah. So people that have cancer, that want to overcome cancer by natural methods, for example, first thing they do is they cut out all of the foods that are acid producing. Does that make sense? So for example, they would cut out milk, they would cut out red meat, they would cut out a whole bunch of other things that are acid forming, and they would make sure that they added in all of these foods that are alkaline producing. Yeah? Lemons, things like that. Okay? So can you see that by nutritionally rebalancing your body and getting your acid and alkaline state well too, and this is in a really good balance, is that actually it gives your body the best opportunity that it's ever going to have to achieve that optimum health. So it's not just a one trick fits all. Dieting used to be about calorie counting, didn't it? Calories in, energy out, all that kind of thing. That was the traditional way of doing it. But we can't rely on that now. That's not what's going on. We need to make sure that we're treating our bodies like a temple, ladies. Okay, so what else do we need to look at? Remember we talked about breakfast, and we talked about the lack of protein for breakfast. So if you're having cereal or toast, actually you're probably not getting protein first thing in the morning. Now, I meet a lot of ladies, and ladies in particular are pretty rubbish at either not having breakfast at all, or having just a little bit of breakfast and it certainly won't have protein. I also see women who have nothing to eat until about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. Very, very common. Now, your bodies store fat. We know that, don't we? Your bodies love storing carbohydrate, but what they don't do is store protein. And your protein is stored in your muscles. So if you're feeling a bit tired, I was going to say something else, if you're feeling a bit tired, lacking in energy, for example, one of the big things that you can do is to get some high quality protein into your diet, because your muscles need energy. Your body needs energy. So if we can get some high quality protein in on a regular basis, it means that actually you're going to be functioning better, which means you're going to be moving more, and when you move more, what happens? You lose weight. Because there is still that kind of energy in, energy out. You know, you can't just nutritionally rebalance your body and sit still for 6 weeks. You know, there has to be some movement too. Does that make sense? So we talk about that. Okay, the other thing we talk about is extra nutrients. Okay, so who here likes eating blueberries? Do we know why we eat blueberries? Antioxidants. This lady gets a real gold star here because you've answered so many questions, so you were really hot on this. Okay, so antioxidants. Okay, anybody know what antioxidants do?
They mop up free radicals.
Brilliant! Now you get to the top of the class. They do mop up free radicals. And it's free radicals that make us all age. Free radical damage goes on in our body all of the time. So it's like an oxidation progress. So when you bite into an apple, for example, what happens to it when you put it down on the side?
Goes brown.
Goes brown. So basically, that's what's happening inside our body and outside our body all of the time, is this oxidizing process. It's not very nice, actually, is it? So actually, we might, when we look at old or outside, sadly, that's also happening inside. Because you can never really tell what somebody looks like from the outside, can you? You know, somebody may look lovely, but then the next day they might just drop down dead. See that a lot. A friend phoned me today, actually, and told me about a friend of hers husband who retired last Tuesday and died on Thursday. He was 59. And he was an athlete, actually. He did lots of cycling. So one of the things that he did was actually, because he was very active, he was producing lots of free radicals. Because the more you exercise, so this is a bit confusing, isn't it? But Jill, you told me I had to exercise. The more exercise we do, and particularly those people that over-exercise and do a lot, produce way, way many free radicals. Have you ever seen a long-distance runner? Have you seen them up close? They look really old, don't they? In the face, they look really old, they're skinny and old. And this is because their body is in oxidative stress, basically. They're free radical damage. Does that make sense? And a lot of them will get a post-run illness as well. So their immune system goes down because they're not feeding their bodies with these extra antioxidants and extra nutrients that they need. So you'll hear it all the time. Somebody's done a run, somebody's done a marathon, and then they've got a cold the next week. Yeah, I've heard that. So what we need to do is, whilst we are detoxifying, whilst we are cleansing and healing the body, at the same time, as you can imagine, as those toxins are leaving the body, what are they producing? Free radicals. So we need to put extra antioxidants into the body in order to counteract that flushing system. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay. And then, after we've done the cleanse, we also need to look after our future health. So, when you, has everybody got a dishwasher here? Anybody not got a dishwasher? You have got a dishwasher. You're a student, so you don't count. But you know how a dishwasher works, basically. So you do all you know, put your dishes in, it's got garbage on it, and if you're really good, you wash it off. And I was told you shouldn't do that, by the way, because you don't need to, because it just uses up too much water. My husband does it. Rinses them before he puts them in the dishwasher. What's that about? So anyway, you put them in the dishwasher, and then actually what you do then is you put a rinse aid in, or you put one of those cleaning things in that then cleans out the pipes on a regular basis. Do you do that? Okay. So this is what we need to do with your intestinal system, is when we go in and clean it out, yeah, when we get it clean, so we've got the dishwasher on, we then need to go back in and put in some good